Hi everyone! So a few months ago I did an intro video about Tyrion. Tyrion is a gray-banded kingsnake, and he's a girl. So back in April, I found what could have been poop. I'm still gonna say he because it's gonna confuse me, and this is gonna be an hour long, and I also haven't picked a new name yet. But in April, I found these strangely formed ovals in his water dish, and I just thought it was poo-poo, and because their pee comes out white. Okay, they have one hole called their vent at the back end, and the poo comes out as you would expect, and the pee is white. Birds do the same thing. When they poop in your car and you get that big white splash, it's bird pee. Anyway, I thought it was weird, but it looked sort of like some unfertilized egg follicle kind of situations from some other reptiles. I couldn't find much online specifically to king snakes, but I just kind of passed it as a fluke. Well, a month later, he did it again. So my snake did it again. There's some clear urates here, but there's also what look like egg follicles again. I am not sure what's going on with him. I'm thinking a vet visit is in order. It's like they're formed as an oval, but there's obviously not an egg shell on them yet. So then it was not just a fluke. There were two. And when he does defecate, he goes around the edge of his tank. It's pretty predictable. He doesn't go in his water. Where'd you go? Hey, you gotta go in the coat. Oh, don't get caught. Please don't get caught. Come here, come stay with me. Okay. He's not great at the shoulder thing yet. So just as an experiment, I put a lay box in there. It was a little too small for him, so I took the lid off, but it was basically sphagnum moss that was moistened down. It was very humid, and that's usually what goes in a lay box anyway. And sure enough, about a week after the second eggs in the water, I'm going to call them eggs, he put some in the lay box. And that's not just a different shape or color now. This is a different behavior. This is not a nesting, this is an egg-laying behavior. So something was going on. If he was a boy and this was happening, could have just been poop, but we had to know, right? So I took him to the vet. What they do is they have different sized metal probes that they stick in their vent. Cloaca has a couple different names, okay? They keep their sex organs inside, so depending on how big the area is that they can get a probe into, they can determine if there's, organs in there or not. There was not. The gap was very small, which indicates female. However, the vet's very knowledgeable. It's an exotics vet, so it's not just like somebody who rarely sees snakes. There were so many different animals in the waiting room for this vet. It was really cool, actually. But he's seen snakes before, and I've brought Charlie to him before, stuff like that. So he said they can kind of lay a whole bunch of different kinds of egg, things. So it was possible. However, it was inconclusive. He still wasn't sure if it was actually egg production. We did do an x-ray of her, and no fully formed eggs. I say egg follicles for what we were finding, because an egg would be almost as wide as he is. So these were tiny. These were not even my fingernail sized. Of course, I'm showing them, I'm showing you the footage too, but so they weren't fully formed eggs, but they were different from the regular urates. I'm telling you, 75% of animal care and keeping is poo. Be aware. You can tell so much about the health of an animal from that, but you also have to know about their biology, because if this snake never poops in the water or never poops in a lay box and then suddenly puts something that could kind of look like unformed eggs in there, something's off. Yeah, so we couldn't really tell if what I found was egg related. However, it is possible, and she's definitely a girl. I love the name Tyrion, so that kind of sucks. I want to change the name now, though, because he's only 3. My black rat snake, Arya, is 18. And Arya actually came from a book, and then Game of Thrones became popular, so I don't mind if people say that it's from Game of Thrones. It's still equally awesome. The name Arya came from the book series Aragon. And there's a story that ties that into my bearded dragon as well. It's kind of cool. Anyway, so I have an Arya. I really liked the name Tyrion for this little guy. It was funny, we were joking with the technician about the name Khaleesi and like how we're probably going to start seeing children named Khaleesi coming through the pipeline here. And he did come with a little dragon like decoration. He's too derpy to be Daenerys or Khaleesi. Like, he's not a badass personality. I've been looking at names. I do like the Y in the name idea. We came across Nymeria, who was also a badass, but Nymeria, that name was used in a lot of different ways. Arya's wolf was named Nymeria. There was she was like a warrior seafaring person named Nymeria. I believe, was one of the sand snakes also Nymeria? Anyway, it has the, Y at the front of the name. And it was similar enough to Tyrion, and it's based off of Game of Thrones, so I may go with Nymeria. We could just call her Nym. I also really liked Gilly, because, I love these characters in the show, and honestly, Gilly's a little smarter than him, too. But Gilly had red hair, and he's like mostly, kind of a coppery red, or half kind of a coppery red. So I could see that name for him. It might kind of be cute. So those are the 2 that I'm suggesting. Like I said, I have an Arya. I don't want to name him Sansa. Sansa's, I love her in her own way, but I'm not a Sansa fan, really. Let me know what you think. But yeah, we have a girl for sure, so that's at least good to know. I know what organs are in this beautiful animal, and she is clear of any eggs. The vet said if it happened again, I should bring her in. There would be yolk in there, even though they're obviously not fertilized. There's always still yolk in there, just like a chicken egg. There's yolk in there, but there's just not an embryo. Sometimes reptiles lay unfertilized eggs, and some species more than others. I've had, like my turtle, I've had her for 18 years as well, and I've only seen her lay unfertilized eggs once. The other snakes, the only ones I've seen are fertilized. That's a long story. Also, bearded dragons do lay unfertilized. They're called clutches for eggs. Hello, darling. Yes. Now, just because the eggs were fertilized doesn't mean they're going to come out viable. They might not come out alive, basically. So yeah, so I'm not sure if we're going to get more unfertile eggs. The thing about snakes, though, they can retain sperm for like 2 years. So they can retain sperm from a previous breeding for years. And this is what happened with my previous king snake, William Snakespeare. He was a she, turned out. He was much bigger than Tyrion. What am I going to call you? Nymeria? What do you want to be called? So it's possible that even though I'm not breeding them, if they were previously bred, it is possible that they can lay fertilized eggs even if they haven't had contact with another snake in years. It's fascinating. But these weren't even fully formed eggs, so there was no embryo in there. It looked like they were like from a cycle that got shed out, basically. They usually cycle yearly, though. It wouldn't be monthly, which is how far apart, like, his, whatever they were. They weren't clutches of eggs, but it was, you know, whatever this situation happening was. It was like a month went by, and then another 2 weeks, and a third little thing of egg things. What were they? So the vet wasn't sure either, but it's possible. And we know she's female now. So I'll have to do a reintroduction, and she's fine. She is healthy, and I've still been giving her calcium powder in case she's, you know, is in fact trying to produce eggs, which takes up a lot of calcium from their bodies. So that's the update, trying to get a name. It's good to know for sure the gender of one of my animals. Sorry about the pronouns, keep going back and forth. Obviously they don't mind, but I like to be correct. That's my story. That's her story. I'll be updating you, but at least I've got a healthy snake and I know the gender. Yes, you little cutie. I'm gonna go give you some food. Okay. Say bye. So cute. Hello? Why did you put yourself in that position? He's like, got himself headlocked in here. Where are you going? He's very sweet. He's just a little timid and he doesn't know much. I need to do a reptile word video. I was gonna say something else. Anyway, so and bearded. He's not a Daenerys. Nope. Why did you start filming? Come here. Come here. No.